Welcome to today's episode, where we explore one of the world's most prestigious institutions, Harvard University. We'll delve into its rich history, its influence on education, its impact on society, and what makes Harvard such a global symbol of academic excellence. Whether you're a student, educator, or just someone fascinated by the history of great institutions, you're in for a captivating story. Chapter 1. The Foundation of Harvard. Harvard University was established in 1636, making it the oldest institution of higher learning in the United States. But Harvard's story begins before that. The Puritans, who settled in the Massachusetts Bay Colony, recognized the need for an educated clergy to lead their religious communities. This was not just about religious guidance, it was also a matter of societal leadership. In those early colonial days, the Puritans held strong beliefs about education. They were part of a cultural movement that believed knowledge was crucial not only for religious piety but for maintaining a just and moral society. So, only 16 years after they first settled in New England, the General Court of Massachusetts voted to establish a school that would train future ministers and leaders. The institution was named after John Harvard, a young minister who died in 1638. John Harvard was not one of the founders, but he left his personal library of 400 books and half of his estate to the new college. His generous contribution and commitment to education earned him the honor of having the university bear his name. Chapter 2. The Early Years, a Struggle for Survival. In its early years, Harvard was more like a small boarding school than a university. The original curriculum was centered around theology and the classics. Most students were preparing for the ministry, and their education reflected the Puritan values of the time. But the young institution faced many challenges. The colony was still new and struggling to establish itself. The university often lacked the funds to provide proper instruction, and the facilities were modest. In fact, Harvard Hall, which housed the school's library and classrooms, burned down in 1764, destroying nearly all of John Harvard's original book collection. Despite these early hardships, Harvard persevered. The 18th century saw Harvard begin to broaden its curriculum. The institution slowly moved away from its Puritan roots and began focusing on a wider range of subjects, including philosophy, the sciences, and law. This shift mirrored the changing attitudes in New England, where secularism was becoming more accepted. Chapter 3. Harvard's Role in the American Revolution. By the time the American Revolution began, Harvard had already established itself as a key player in American intellectual life. Many of the founding fathers, including John Adams, John Hancock, and Samuel Adams, were Harvard alumni. The university itself played a direct role in the Revolution, as its campus was used as a barracks and a hospital during the Siege of Boston. The values taught at Harvard, freedom, self-governance, and moral integrity, were the very principles that drove the revolution. Harvard's commitment to these ideals helped shape the intellectual foundations of the new American Republic. In the decades following the Revolution, Harvard continued to expand its curriculum and influence. The university was no longer just a regional institution, it was becoming a national one. In 1810, Harvard established the Harvard Law School, the oldest continuously operating law school in the United States, which has produced many of the nation's most influential legal minds. Chapter 4. Expanding Influence and Inclusion. The 19th century saw Harvard University evolve from a small college to a research institution of global renown. Under the leadership of Charles William Eliot, who served as president from 1869 to 1909, Harvard underwent a radical transformation. Eliot expanded the university's curriculum, introducing elective courses and modernizing the school's approach to education. Before Eliot's tenure, the curriculum at Harvard was rigid, with students following a prescribed set of courses in classics, theology, and mathematics. But Eliot's reforms allowed students to choose from a broader range of subjects. This was revolutionary at the time and would later become a model for universities across the world. Eliot also opened the doors of Harvard to students from more diverse backgrounds. Though the university had historically been a bastion of white, Protestant males from elite families, Eliot worked to make the institution more inclusive. Harvard began to admit students from various regions of the country and, over time, from different ethnic and religious backgrounds. Chapter 5. Harvard's contribution to research and innovation. As the 20th century dawned, Harvard continued to cement its reputation as a world leader in research and innovation. Its faculty and alumni were making significant contributions to fields ranging from medicine to economics, and from literature to politics. One of Harvard's most famous contributions to the world of science was the development of the polio vaccine. Dr. John Enders, a Harvard alumnus and researcher, was instrumental in creating the first effective vaccine for the disease, which had plagued the world for decades. Enders' work earned him the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1954 and saved countless lives. In the social sciences, Harvard professor John Maynard Keynes revolutionized economics with his groundbreaking work on macroeconomic theory. Keynes' ideas, which emphasized the role of government intervention in the economy, reshaped economic policy in the 20th century and continue to influence global economic practices today. Harvard's impact on literature and the arts is equally profound. T.S. Eliot, E. Cummings, and Wallace Stevens, some of the 20th century's most important poets, were all Harvard graduates. Their work reshaped modern poetry, pushing the boundaries of form and meaning. Chapter 6. Leadership in social movements. Harvard University has often been at the forefront of social change. Throughout the 20th century, the campus was a hotbed of political activism. During the Civil Rights Movement, Harvard students and faculty were actively involved in advocating for racial equality. The university's student body included prominent African American leaders like W.E.B. Du Bois, who would go on to become a key figure in the struggle for civil rights. In the 1960s, Harvard was also a center of anti-war activism. The Vietnam War provoked strong opposition from students and faculty alike. Protests and sit-ins were common on campus, with Harvard becoming a focal point for broader national discussions about war, peace, and social justice. More recently, Harvard has taken steps to address its own historical ties to slavery and racial inequality. In 2016, the university unveiled a plaque commemorating 4 enslaved individuals who lived and worked on campus in the 18th century. This was part of a broader effort to confront the university's complicated legacy and to promote greater diversity and inclusion in the student body and faculty. Chapter 7. Harvard Today, a global leader. Today, Harvard is synonymous with academic excellence. The university consistently ranks as one of the top institutions in the world, attracting students and faculty from all corners of the globe. Harvard's endowment, which stands at over $50 billion, is the largest of any university in the world. This financial strength allows the university to provide generous financial aid to students from all socioeconomic backgrounds, making a Harvard education accessible to those who may not have been able to afford it otherwise. The university is composed of several schools, including Harvard College, the Harvard Graduate School of Arts and Sciences, Harvard Law School, Harvard Business School, and the Harvard Medical School, among others. Each of these schools is a leader in its respective field, producing graduates who go on to shape industries, governments, and societies around the world. One of the reasons for Harvard's continued success is its commitment to fostering a culture of collaboration and innovation. The university has invested heavily in interdisciplinary research, encouraging scholars from different fields to work together to solve some of the world's most pressing problems. Harvard's faculty includes Nobel laureates, Pulitzer Prize winners, and leading experts in nearly every field of study. The institution has also embraced the digital age. Harvard's online learning platform, HarvardX, offers free and paid courses to millions of people worldwide, making education more accessible to learners everywhere. In this way, Harvard's influence extends far beyond the boundaries of its campus in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Chapter 8: Challenges and Criticism. However, Harvard is not without its critics. Some argue that the university's immense wealth gives it an unfair advantage over other institutions. There have also been concerns about the lack of diversity in its student body and faculty, though Harvard has made strides in recent years to address these issues. Harvard has also faced legal challenges. In 2014, the university was sued by a group of Asian American students who claimed that the admissions process unfairly discriminated against them. The case reignited debates about affirmative action and the role of race in college admissions. Although Harvard won the case in 2019, the controversy highlighted ongoing tensions about diversity, equity, and inclusion in higher education. Chapter 9: The Future of Harvard University. As we look to the future, Harvard University faces new challenges and opportunities. The world of higher education is rapidly changing, with the rise of online learning, shifting demographics, and evolving societal needs. But Harvard's long history of adaptation and innovation suggests that the institution is well equipped to navigate these changes. The university is likely to continue its focus on interdisciplinary research, particularly in areas like climate change, artificial intelligence, and global health. Harvard's leadership in these fields will be crucial as the world grapples with complex and interconnected global challenges. Moreover, Harvard will likely continue to play a role in shaping future generations of leaders. Whether in politics, business, science, or the arts, Harvard graduates will continue to influence the direction of our world in profound ways. Harvard University's story is one of perseverance, innovation, and transformation. From its humble beginnings as a small college in colonial America to its status as a global leader in education, Harvard has played a central role in shaping the intellectual and cultural fabric of society. As we wrap up this episode, we can't help but reflect on the legacy of Harvard University, a legacy built not only on academic achievement but on a deep commitment to knowledge, truth, and the betterment of society. Thank you for joining us today, and we hope this deep dive into Harvard's remarkable journey has inspired you as much as it has us. Until next time, keep learning and stay curious.